Hi, welcome to, sorry, I got my jams on loud. Welcome to Your Pretty Pennies with Tara Jones. I'm Tara Jones, your financial success coach. And today is like an impromptu Q&A session. I've been trying to host this for the last couple of days, but I had some family emergencies to tend to that I did not expect. And we're going to be talking about that in a whole nother live stream because being prepared for financial emergencies and family emergencies go way beyond financials, right? So we're going to talk about that and things that I've learned after this last week, because I am hosting Debt Free February, and it kind of got put on pause for a couple of days because of some things that happened. So going forward, I'm switching some things up, and I'm going to share that in another live stream. But today, I've had a few questions from people who are tuning in and people who are joining the financial reset, the people who are interested in it. So I'm here to answer a few questions. I'm here to kind of get you clarity around paying off debt, because as you know, I am helping you become debt-free in 2018 and beyond. So that is why I'm doing Debt Free February. And over the next couple of days, I am going to play catch up. I'm probably going to be doing live streams 2 to 3 times a day just to kind of get the content out that was put on hold over the last few days. I missed 4 days. So with that being said, let's jump into the questions. And I have them in my phone. So this one was from an email. And it says, first of all, I want to say thank you for creating Your Pretty Pennies. I really enjoy the content that you share and the transparency about your financial story. You are so inspiring. I look forward to the Facebook group and your lessons. My name is blank. I'm 28 years old. My goal is to pay my debt off in 2 to 3 years. Currently, I have a decent full-time job, but I still live paycheck to paycheck due to monthly expenses, rent, utilities, food, transportation, etc. I want to decrease my expenses, and I plan to cut back and coupon. Y'all know how I feel about couponing, but we ain't gonna go there. Recently, I filed my taxes and received a generous amount back in tax return. Just want to make sure my sound is on. In addition, I have leftover 401k money from my first job out of college. My question is, what should I do with the money from the tax return and leftover in my 401k? Should I put it all towards my debt, add it to my savings, or should I include it in upcoming expenses? Note, I know my 401k will be penalized for taking money out prematurely, but I'm willing to take a risk if it means eliminating debt faster. Thank you, and I hope to hear from you soon. This is really good. We need to unpack this because I feel like a lot of people are going to really identify with the situation. The young lady who wrote this, I'm not going to say her name because it really doesn't make a difference, right? I don't want to put her personal business out in the street. She confided in me and was willing to be transparent, and so I respect her privacy and yours. If you email me at info@yourprettypennies.com, I will definitely answer your questions on live. So thank you so much. You know who you are for sending that in, and let's unpack that for a few minutes. So as we are in Debt-Free February, we are focusing on debt repayment. However, like I've been saying in all my videos, there's a couple of steps that you need to take before you are actually ready to start sending in extra payments on your debt. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to create your monthly budget, so you know exactly how much it is that you need to live off of, and if you even have any money extra to pay off debt, right? Because you have to cover the groceries, you have to cover, like she said, gas for the car, your light bill, your rent, your mortgage, things like that. You need to make sure that you have enough coming in that month in order to both pay for your living expenses, save, tithe, and pay extra on your debt, right? So the first thing that you need to do is create a monthly budget. And so when you have extra cash coming in, that needs to be in your monthly budget. And it's a zero-based budget that I use. And if you need help with that, you can go to bit.ly/YPP budget template, YPP budget template, bit.ly/YPP budget template. I'll also put it in the description after the video. And make sure that you take my free course, my free masterclass on how to create a monthly budget. because literally that's going to be your first step. And what you do is you add all your income. So if you are in February or if you're starting in March, whenever you get that deposit, then that extra cash, the first thing that you do is you add it to your income. So if that means your income for that month goes up to $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 or whatever that case is, you need to use that $6,000 and distribute it into expense categories in your monthly budget. Okay, so your income minus your expenses equal your disposable income, or it should equal zero in the zero-based budget. But if you want to see how much you have left over in order to pay off debt, you can do your income minus your living expenses, how much you pay in rent, gas, utilities, groceries, phone bill, things like that. And then whatever you have left over after you've covered everything and set aside money on paper for everything, then you can clearly see, okay, I have $1,500 left over this month. I should have $1,500 left over this month, right? Because all of this is planning on paper. And so that is when you say, okay, what should I do with this extra money? All right, so once you've done that, created your budget, then you say, the next thing you do is you say, do I have $2,000 in my bank account, in my savings account for an emergency fund? Because there's no reason to start paying off debt if you can't even absorb a small, minor financial emergency or unexpected financial, thing, right? You don't want to get thrown off. You don't want to get thrown off of your momentum of paying off debt. So you want to make sure all your bases is covered before you start gaining momentum and getting excited about paying off debt. So the first thing is making your monthly budget so you can see how much you have to either start saving or paying off debt. The second thing is to check your bank account. If you are not at $2,000, you need to get your bank account, your savings account up to $2,000, right? So that will absorb any financial emergency that comes up, and then you'll be all squared away. After that, then all the extra money that you have can go straight towards that. You do not need to take out money out of your 401k. You can leave that sitting there, or you can roll it into the 401k that you have now. And if that's someone that's like you, where you have more than one 401k account, you can definitely go to those old 401k accounts, to those companies, and have that money sent over to your new 401k, not to you. Don't get it sent to you and then you send it to them. You send it straight over there. That way you don't get any penalty. And also you can just add that money and allow that continue to build up. Even though you may have stopped temporarily putting money towards your 401k or your retirement plan, you can still allow that money to sit there and build up over time, right? You can still allow it to attain compound interest, all right? So literally that's what you do. So her question was, should I pay off debt immediately? Should I put some money in savings, or should I include it in my upcoming savings? You should do all three. You're going to tackle all three in the right order. Number one, you need to secure your first financial future, which is why you create a monthly budget. You need to have money to make sure through the whole month that you can eat, that you have rent, that you have lights, gas, food, gas in your car for the whole month, things like that. You're going to plan all of that out on paper inside of your monthly budget. Then the second thing is, if you do not have $2,000, you put enough money in the bank to get you to that $2,000 mark. Then you move on to putting any extra cash towards your lowest amount of debt, right? So you're going to list your debt from smallest to largest, and then whichever one that is, that's what you're going to start tackling. So if your smallest is your auto loan, listen to the auto loan, how to pay off your auto loan debt. If you have a personal loan and that's the smallest, listen to that first. If it's credit cards, listen to that first. If it's a medical bill, listen to what I just went over on first, right? We have the videos that you can go back to on this page, on this channel, to where you can understand how to pay off each of those individually in the quickest amount of time with the lowest amount of money and the lowest amount of interest. So therefore, you need to watch those before you start throwing money at those debt, right? And upcoming this week and weekend, I'm going to be talking about mortgages, student loans, and how to pay off debt and collections, how to handle repossessions, things like that. So there's still more to come. So if I haven't covered the type of debt you have, just know that it's on its way. All right. So then the next question was, hello, I just watched your video on paying off car loans fast. I was wondering how much you suggest putting towards the principal. What percentage? Thanks in advance. So as you notice in all of my videos so far, in order to pay off debt fast, we do not work on percentages. We work on numbers, right? We work on any extra cash you can get your hands on, increasing your income, decreasing your expenses, And any extra cash you get your hands on, whether that's 50% of your income, 25%, 10%, 5%, 3%, however much you have after you've covered giving, saving, and living expenses, go straight towards your debt, right? So I don't care how much that is, how much you have to work with, whether it's a little or it's a lot, any extra amount of money on your debt is key, right? And don't limit yourself. Don't just say, okay, I'm only going to pay off, put an extra 10% towards debt this month. No, put as much as you can in order to get out of debt faster. So if you freed up an extra $500 next month in March by increasing your income, decreasing your expenses, being wiser with your money, and you can use that for debt, do it. Don't limit yourself. Don't say, oh, it's only 25% or 10% of my income I'm going to put towards debt. No, put any extra cash that you can towards debt. That is the key of getting out of debt faster. Percentages work great after you are debt free and you have a income that is planned and that is consistent, that is very easy to control. When you are in debt and you have bills coming out left and right and you don't have a big income and you are, struggling and living paycheck to paycheck, you can't work on percentages yet, right? Like, you know how like when you watch videos and they say put 10% in savings and 10% in this and 5% in that. Yeah, that's if you have all your other financial goals accomplished, right? That's if you are debt free. That's not for you. Put 5% in investing, put 10% in that. That's for people who have stable money. If you do not have stable money, you need to go down the steps. And the first step is create your monthly budget. The second step is save $2,000. The third step is use all the extra income that you can, increase your income, decrease your expenses, and pay off debt. Do not work on percentages. Do not focus on percentages yet. That is not your ministry at this point, all right? So if you have any other questions that you want to have addressed on the topics that we've went over, we've talked about the mindset of paying off debt, the advantages and disadvantages of being in debt. We talked about whether you should be debt-free in order to build a business or to buy a home or other financial goals. We talked about that. Definitely go back to that video. We talked about how to pay off medical debt, credit cards, personal loans, and auto loans, right? And coming up, we have even more. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and I will definitely pop on, do another Q&A before the month is over. I'm getting all the content out before February is over, so don't worry about that. And again, definitely click the notification button so you are notified when I am live so you can get your questions answered live, all right? So let me know in the comments what questions you have for the next Q&A, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.